Okay, welcome back to my Let's Play of Disco Elysium on the PC. Today is almost certainly the day where we are going to get our gun back, or try to. We might get blasted in the face by a crazy woman, but we're gonna try. Still have a few hours to go, I think. Yeah, a few hours to go. So I'm in this bookstore, and I went to the board game shelf, and I picked up a board game. Actually, it's not a board game, though. Or it doesn't sound like it. It's for that Whirl RPG or whatever. A high pasternal fantastique populaire board game, illustrated with bucolic vistas and featuring odd-looking humanoid creatures. It's the 3rd edition Mega Setting Supplements module and can't be played without the main game. Large letters on the front form a title, Whirl. The colorful box is illustrated with bucolic vistas. The cover art also features odd-looking humanoids, some short, some taller, some with pointy ears, others with ephemeral wings. Examine the box. Text underneath the title in smaller typeface reads, 3rd edition Mega Setting Supplements module. The side panel adds, a sword and sorcery adventure board game with new maps and miniatures. Shake the box. Mysterious things rattle inside. What could they be? Dice? Plastic miniatures? A fantastical alternate world full of magic and wonder? None of that witless man from Jelmdal fascist dross hidden behind faux realistic allegory. Whirl is no cliche-ridden apologia for colonial violence. Whirl is pure imagination. Yes, the Whirl setting is known for its complicated system of political alignments, but if you're not into that, you can just hack your way through dungeons in search of loot. That's what most people do. Look at the back. A blurb on the back reads, tired of the tedium and toil of modern life? Escape to Whirl. Leave behind isolas and nations with their petty squabbles. Discard electricity, magnets, and boring technological widgets. Succumb to a world of high pasternal fantastique. Unleash your imagination and create an adventure of endless possibilities. Discover the terrible secret threatening Whirl. Can your band of adventurers save the world? Yes, we're ready to take on this challenge. Exactly, that's the spirit. All you have to do is read an intricate rulebook, study an assortment of maps, unfold the illustrated game board, and start rolling dice. In no time, you could be romping through grasslands with low-level characters, hunted by ice-skull riders, or battling unspeakable monsters in endless dungeons fraught with danger and despair, conjuring up forceful magics. Oh my god, I've never seen magic spelled like that. To aid your quest. Don't forget heated arguments escalating to physical confrontation with your friends. And most importantly, never forget to rage quit if the dice don't go your way. Open the box. You pry open the box. Inside you find a folded up map, a small booklet, a 24-sided die, and a little plastic figurine. Look at the map. A reprint of a crude hand-drawn map. The top left corner reads, Lands of Whirl. The map features both small villages and mid-sized towns with odd names, in addition to meadows, forests, hills, lakes, and seas, also with odd names. It doesn't seem to correspond with anything you've seen thus far. It's not a very helpful map. Look at the booklet. A quick guide to the magical races of Whirl. Create your own hero choosing from any of these completely unique and fantastical backgrounds. The options are, in order of importance, the Welkin, the Dwerger, the humans, the fairy folk, and the pygmies. Read about the Welkin. The Welkin, tall, lithe, and graceful, with long flowing hair and pointy ears. They're known for being powerful magic users, but can also hold their own in a brawn-driven fight. The Welkin come with a variety of exciting sub-races. High Welkin, Forest Welkin, Lake Welkin, and Snow Welkin. But if you're not feeling experimental, a basic Welkin will always do. Read about the Dwerger. A grand race of industrious mountain people. They're short, stout, and muscular, and enjoy digging for gold and other precious minerals. They're also well versed in the art of combat, where they prefer to use axes and hammers. The Dwerger also come in a few different sub-races. Hill Dwerger, Shield Dwerger, and Dark Dwerger. Read about the humans. They're just humans. What else is there to tell? They're average in all stats and jacks of all trades. Fairy folk. A very small race of flying people, known for being mischievous, full of trickery. They often lure people into their magical traps. There are no sub-races for the fairies. Pygmies. The least popular of the Whirl races, the Pygmies are short, rotund, and dim-witted. Pygmies live in small villages made of shoddy wooden dwellings. They spend most of their days tilling the earth and smoking their pipes. There are no sub-races for the Pygmies. Look at the die. It's made from some sort of wood and has been decorated with peculiar plant motifs. You don't know much about dice, but this one looks pretty damn fancy. Take the die. Place the die into your pocket. It's always good to have luck on your side. Look at the figurine. You see a man in ragged clothes wearing a lopsided hat and wielding some sort of firearm. Interesting. A communard. A what? Communard, one of the leftist revolutionaries in the anti-centennial revolution. What's so interesting about that? The figurine is not a part of the Whirl game setting. I guess someone misplaced it during the packaging process. Does this mean we can't play? Lieutenant shrugs. I have a feeling the figurines are more there to set the scene than anything else. Take the figurine. You pick the figurine up by the base, and to meet your gaze, the little plastic man stares back at you, his face contorted into a disturbing shout. Then you pocket it. Okay, hard to say if that was worth the money, but we passed some time. Let's buy the Suzerainty game. A civilization-building board game where you get to choose a nation and set off to colonize and exploit other cultures. A star-shaped note on the box proclaims the game now includes a completely new genocide option. In your hands, you hold a brand new copy of the game Suzerainty. It's snugly wrapped in a skin of plastic. The cover features a charming illustration depicting a mass of grinning laborers loading goods onto a ship while a richly dressed administrator oversees their work. The exact location and time period are left deliberately vague, but it's clearly meant to represent the economic relationship between the Revacholian suzerainty and its many vassals. Shake the box. The box has a nice heft to it. You hear the rattle of individual wooden tokens and feel their weight shifting back and forth. What treasures await in store for you? Dude, I got a board game with wooden tokens for $12? Even before you open it, you can tell that this will be a meaty game of grand strategy and complex player interactions. Alright, I like it. Remove the plastic wrap. The plastic wrap rips off as easily as a bodice in a tawdry historical romance. Open the box. There's a hiss as the lid slides off. Inside, you find a thick, full-color rulebook and more than a dozen pouches of various wooden components. Read the rulebook. Welcome to Suzerainty, a game of economic strategy for the whole family. The rulebook is sumptuously illustrated and thick as a Gradian novel. Finally, a proper game to teach children about the importance of trade and the global economy. The colorful illustrations depict cheerful workers picking apricots, hauling marble sculptures out of crumbling temples, and harvesting a strange magenta-leafed plant. Everyone is smiling. You begin to suspect there may be a political agenda to this so-called family game. Only one way to find out. The instructions are opaque at first and introduce many concepts you're not familiar with. Fortunately, there are many diagrams and examples throughout. You soon figure out the basic conceit. Each player represents an administrator for the suzerain of Revachol. Your objective is to increase the suzerain's wealth and renown by accumulating victory points. How do you accumulate victory points? That's where the suzerain's vassals come in. The game features 4 vassal nations, each one home to an economically important resource. Each turn, the player collects resources from vassals where they placed workers. They may then rearrange their workers, fulfill contracts for coin and bonuses, or build structures back in Revachol. How is the winner determined? The actual scoring system appears infinitely complex, with a series of tables and appendices required to compute each player's final victory point total. You skip that part for now. Examine the components. You open up a number of pouches containing wooden tokens. There are also several punch boards with other cardboard components that will need to be punched out before you can play. Punch out the cardboard pieces one by one. Each cardboard token makes a satisfying ch as you pop it out. Soon a neat pile of cardboard coins and counters is accumulated before you. What, you're not going to offer to let me punch any of them out? I think he's sarcastic. Check out the wooden tokens. In addition to the worker and building tokens used by each player, there are also several piles of colorful resource tokens, each representing one of the game's 4 principal resources. From the Empire of Safra, orange apricot tokens. From Il-Marat, the ancestral name of Ilmara, gray marble block tokens. From the Seminine Islands, white sacks of sugar tokens. And from Supramundi and Saramariza, magenta tokens for unprocessed cocaine leaves. Oh, those are nice. The lieutenant picks up a sugar token and admires it. Dude, Kim, you want to play? Lieutenant looks over the rulebook before he sees something that makes his eyes go wide. Holy shit, the average playing time for this game is 1 to 6 hours. Not sure we can afford to set aside that kind of time for a game. You're playing with me, a little bitch. What is detective work if not an elaborate game? You need logical inference, attention to detail, the ability to analyze your opponent's motives. Come on, it might help us think of more creative solutions to the case. I do feel like my thinking has become somewhat rigid. Maybe a little diversion to keep the mind limber is just what's in order. See, he's doing the hard work himself. All he needed was a little nudge. Alright, you convinced me. How do we play? I read the rules already. I'll show you. You explain the basic setup procedures to the lieutenant, who seems to be a quick study. You each take your bags of tokens and counters and unfold the board between you. In the center is the crown of Revachol. Radiating outward are her colorful vassals, each one supplying some raw material desired by the suzerain. Apricots from Safra, archaeological treasures from Il Marat, sugar from the Seminine Islands, and magenta cocaine from Supermundi and Sierra Marisa. There's also a neat little log to keep track of your progress, in case you need to put the game away and return to it later. Lieutenant goes first. He draws a contract card and moves several of his workers to the Safra territory of the board and the others to the Seminine Islands. Alright, Detective, your turn. You have a few options available. God damn it. Fucking board game. You have a few options available to you. Will you try to fulfill contracts right away or rearrange your workers to maximize production on future turns? Try to fulfill a contract. You draw a contract card offering a number of coins in exchange for archaeological treasures. You place all your workers on the Il Marat territory. On your next turn, you produce 6 units of archaeological treasure and fulfill the contract for a handful of coins. Not bad, Detective. But not good enough, the Lieutenant seems to be saying. As he completes his own contract card, the Lieutenant is rewarded with 4 coins and a round wooden token that he places in the center of the board. That's a market. It's worth 2 victory points. Why don't I get one of those? Don't worry, it was mostly just luck. You'll earn some points soon enough. I'm not even sure what points are, that's part of the problem. Points are nothing, they don't exist. They're just an arbitrary convention that games use to reward or punish players for certain behaviors. If points are really arbitrary, as the Lieutenant says, what's to stop you from playing the game the way you want? That makes sense. Lieutenant nods. Now I believe it's your turn. Glancing over the board, you see several possible strategies. Pressing more workers into service would increase your economic output and help you survive a possible conflict with the Lieutenant, or you could ignore your labor supply and focus on fulfilling contracts for points and resources. Those aren't your only options. You could also show your workers how much you appreciate them by investing some of that wealth in them. After all, they're the ones producing wealth for the suzerain. Well, sure, you can do that, it's just not a terribly effective strategy, but then it's up to you. Focus on fulfilling contracts. Who cares about workers and territories when the real action is in Revachol? You spend your turns fulfilling contracts for sweet coins and one-time bonuses. After several turns, you have a neat pile of cardboard coins and several units of archaeological treasure, which you trade in to build a museum. You place a cylindrical piece of wood on the Revachol section in the middle of the board. It's meant to stand in for a beautifully adorned edifice filled with ancient wonders. Interestingly, this is more or less what happened in real life as well. To this day, if Ilmarans want to see their nation's priceless treasures, they have to visit Revachol or Gottwald or Sur-le-Clef. Well played, Detective. That museum is worth 3 victory points. Now it's the Lieutenant's turn to respond. He moves aggressively onto the Safra territory. Soon his workers are producing a steady supply of extremely valuable apricots. For several turns you struggle to respond to the Lieutenant's burgeoning apricot empire. Eventually, you relocate the majority of your workers to Supermundi and Sierra Marisa, where they begin producing a bumper crop of cocaine tokens. You draw a new contract card. According to the text, there's an aristocrat willing to trade a large supply of cocaine for a number of coins and access to a rare bonus, amplified music, worth 7 victory points. You know this isn't unlike the situation the historical Revacholian Suzerainty faced in Safra in the middle of the last century. Tell me more. Well, the suzerain was looking for new markets for all the cocaine it was producing, and it settled on Safra. By introducing cocaine into Safra under exclusive contract, the suzerain created an extremely valuable captive market for an extremely addictive product. That's brilliant. If you could somehow get the Lieutenant's workers addicted to your cocaine, you could not only make them less productive, you could also force the Lieutenant to pay you for your cocaine tokens each turn. Can you even do that? Yes, you can. It's right there in the rules. You've reached a critical strategic juncture. How do you respond to the Lieutenant's regression? That's amazing. I want to play this fucking board game. Sorry, Kim, you're not going to like this. Introduce the lieutenant's workers to cocaine. The lieutenant's face goes stony as you take your turn. He does not appreciate you getting all his workers addicted to cocaine. With each passing turn, you slowly bleed the lieutenant of coins as his own workers become less productive and more dependent on your magenta cocaine tokens. As a matter of historical fact, this is almost exactly what happened in Safra. To this day, fully half of the former Safra Empire remains dependent on international aid in exchange for a steady supply of cheap produce. Just like they did to Safra. More or less, the lieutenant says, but he's thinking less about matters of historical wrongdoing than how to get out of the jam you've put him in. Realizing victory is slipping away, the lieutenant launches a desperate gambit: protectionism. By erecting tariffs on your cocaine, he hopes to starve you out of the market at the risk of incurring the suzerain's disfavor. The endgame is upon you. Do you escalate the trade war with the lieutenant in hopes of crushing him with your economic might? Or do you ignore his aggression and focus on building the mighty victory column structure in Revachol herself? Alternatively, you could throw the whole game away by trying to build a public education system for the children of your workers. The choice is yours. For almighty Revachol. Building the ultimate structure requires diligent economic planning, which you completely failed to do. Rather than build a glorious monument to Revachol's economic superiority, you have to settle for a handful of post offices and school for the blind. A risky gambit, detective. Sorry it didn't pay off. Guess I should have gone with a more consistent strategy. That might have helped, yes. Now let's tally up the scores, shall we? Computing the final scores is almost a game unto itself. You each spend an inordinate amount of time making stacks of coins, consulting tables, and struggling with basic addition and multiplication. After double and then triple checking your maths, you have your final score. 15 victory points. The suzerain will not be impressed. Lieutenant looks up from his tabulations. I've got 26 points, he says, a barely contained smile breaking out across his face. Don't be glum, detective. There's always next time. Figuratively, I mean. There's no way we have time to play this game again. Well, let's clean up and get back to work. My God, they actually just put that in the fucking game. That's insane. I want to play that game. It sort of reminds me, I don't know, strictly like board game speaking, but there was a little game that popped up on the internet maybe a week ago. It was only online for like, and maybe it's back up now. It got so popular too quickly, they had to take it down. But it was called AI Dungeon 2. And it basically ran off like a machine learning text system. And it was basically like a choose your own adventure game where you could input whatever you wanted and the game would react to it. It was not perfect from what I tried out, but it was very interesting. And if we take this to be like a first of its kind type project, the future of gaming with AI involved and machine learning could be very, very interesting. And so it would be awesome to just play a game sort of like that, you know, like the getting the opponent's workers addicted to cocaine and stuff like that. Like just these sort of off the wall strategies and suggestions and ideas, and having a game be able to process that and react to it in a functional way. That's really exciting. No, we can't send him away for the night. We need to kill another 25 minutes. And nothing does anything.
I see you haven't left our little Martinez yet. Still running around? Like some kind of cross-country law official?
Place has kind of grown on me, you know. But don't let grow too much. This is not the place to settle down. Okay, did that kill?
The waves are beginning to die down. Look at those little bastards. Simmer down, bastards.
Why does she care about the waves so much? What is with you and the waves? What is it with the waves and fishermen? She tilts her head and looks into the sea. We need to be out there with them, fishing, making a living. So I ask them to accommodate me. But until that happens, I can try to assist you. That's my motor carriage in the sea, by the way. Oh, she looks at the pointed direction. That's good to know, I guess. Why is it in the sea? It's an installation. Very conceptual. An installation? She raises her eyebrows. Us poor people are stupid and don't get installations. All I see is a heap of trash. This actually calls for a funeral, I think. You're suggesting we honor the carcass of my former motor carriage. Aye, feels deserved, don't you think? Falling in the line of duty like that and all. What an odd thought. Maybe I should. Why odd? Our things are a part of our life world. They're made with human sweat, and they share human history. We should care about them as we care about humans, to some extent at least. Life world. Someone's been reading up on last century Gottwaldian philosophers. Play it cool now. Alright, I'm in. But organizing a funeral takes lots of time and effort, doesn't it? Oh yeah, she says with a chuckle. You won't even be able to get it out of the water before early June, and where are you going to bury it? Who to invite? What music to play at the wake? Take it from someone who's been through a few funerals. It's easiest to just leave them there and let nature take care of it. That's all we have time for right now anyway. Lieutenant looks at you sympathetically. Come back here in June and see how you feel about it then. It's not like it's going anywhere. Let's focus on the things we can actually do, alright? Absolutely. Does this pass time faster if we, like...
The waves are big.
I can't tell.
To die down. Look at those little bastards. Simmer down, bastards.
I don't think so. I don't think this passes time. You saw there, though, that every option basically led to this, to the same sort of dialogue options. So, choice is not as far-reaching as it might seem.
You're back.
I mean, perhaps there are other
What can I help
ramifications
you
of
with?
certain things you say
Not an
beyond what
umbrella,
you can
I
just
hope.
tell
I don't need
immediately.
one myself, you see.
All around you, rain keeps falling down. On the wooden board she's standing on and on the water around you. I could use a coat like that. The rain is freezing. Sadly, I need this one myself. It's hydrophobic, repels water, almost magically. The company makes them for offshore platform personnel. Very sturdy. Oh shit. I forgot. I forgot. I'm not supposed to say stuff. Alright, we just gotta stand here and wait 12 minutes. Fuck! Takes forever when you're actually waiting for a specific event. Why is this old lady sitting out here in the rain? There's a gap where the name of that song should be. You should ask her about it right now. You're still up? Yes, I can't really sleep anymore. Only a few hours a night. It happens when you grow older. She sloshes the water in the bucket around for a bit. My suggestion is, don't. Don't grow any older than you already are. That's old enough. She smiles. What's troubling your mind? Why was there a bullet under the floorboards of your shack? God damn that girl, she murmurs softly. A bullet? The lieutenant turns to you and gives you a little nod. Then turns to the washerwoman. You didn't put it there, did you? She did. Gone and hid things in there. She shakes her head. She's usually a good tenant, not a stupid one either. You rented the room to her. The old woman sits in silence, her hands moving into the water bucket. Some water sloshes over the edge. Slowly she speaks, wringing out a rag. Yes, I let my room to that Ruby girl. As I've done before when she's been in trouble, or just looking for solitude. I've made it clear, we welcome all kinds of people here. When was this? She came last Friday, left on Monday in a hurry. Her wrinkled hand needs a blue rag in the water. What has she gotten herself into, that girl? That's for the police to find out. Lieutenant takes out his familiar blue notebook. Right then, please answer each question to the best of your ability. I'm sure we have a few. I like how I'm shining a flashlight in her face. You said she left on Monday. Yes, early, with the dogs, around 8 o'clock, I think. She probably heard the lieutenant's kinema drive by and it woke her up, just like it did you. Kim, she must have heard your kinema. Yes, that is the downside of having a 130 kilowatt engine. His voice is tinged with pride. It lets the bad guys know when you're coming. Is the room exactly as she left it? I cleaned it, like I always do. Was there anything else there? No. The truth, sire. What is she like, Ruby? She's good company. Knows how to talk to an old woman. She rubs her cold hands together. At my age, you don't get a lot of quality conversation, so I really appreciate that about her. This Ruby is an old lady whisperer. She knows how to work the village elder, unlike you. Did she talk to you much during her last stay? No, she was mostly silent this time. Kept to herself. What do you mean? She tried not to let it show, but I could tell she hadn't come to fish. Usually she likes to cast a few lines, but this time she mostly stayed in her room. She wanted to talk to her, as they usually do, but she was brooding. Why do you think she left the bullet there? How would I know? She's a gruff one, but not violent. She doesn't go around toting a gun. She looks back toward her shack, thinking. You could ask her about your hunch, that it was a desperate measure. See if she thinks Ruby fits the bill. I have a possible explanation in my mind. I? Do tell. A seagull flies overhead, obviously a bad omen. It's an exit plan. Exit from what? The world. Lieutenant stops writing for a moment. He looks at you, then at the old woman. She tilts her head to the side, looking up at you, deep in thought. Then she makes up her mind. No, she's a fighter. She really believes that. Did she have any technical equipment with her, like radio stuff? Not that I know of, though she was into nice music. She once showed me a few mixtape milieus she'd made. She brushes her forehead with the back of her hand. Water drips to the ground. Although I guess she was pretty handy with the mechanical and technical stuff. Even fixed the heater in the shack. You should be thankful for that. Where did she go? I don't know. Further up the coast. She tried to leave quietly, but the hinges on that door screeched like a cat in heat. Woke me up. I heard her rushing in those heavy boots, heading up north. It's a peninsula. She might be trapped. After a moment of silence, she says, You'll never find her, you know. Her tone is without malice. She knows the coast like the back of her hand. You only just arrived. I wouldn't worry about that, ma'am. We're persistent. Further up the coast we go, then. Are you sure you wouldn't rather stay here? Get a nice, cozy fire going in the heater. She drops the rag into the bucket. It's clean now. Seems like a better idea to me. The felled electric mural. You should go look at it again. You feel like you should go look at it again. Step closer this time. What is the song you're humming? A lullaby my mother used to sing. I sang it to my kids, too. It's an old Samaran children's song. What's it called? Surrender to the night, she replies, slowly rocking back and forth. That's kind of grim for a children's song, even if it's a lullaby. Sounds nice. Yes, she nods, it does. I found this jacket, but it's filthy. Could you wash it for me? I can wash it for you, she says after looking the jacket over, but it's going to take about a half an hour. Think you can stay put for that long? Hell yeah. I could use a breather. It's been another track and field day, Lieutenant says, rubbing his thigh. No, not right now. We gotta... Oh, one thing, officer. If you do find her, please go easy on her. She looks around. The air is getting colder. She really means it. It's an honest plea. She's a good girl, whatever she's gotten herself mixed up in. I'll be the judge of that. Alright, now we're looking for this old crazy lady. You must meet her near the old fish market at 2200 and get your service. Just walk past the fishing village until you see the boardwalk. Okay. Holy shit.
Put your hands where I can see them.
The Asian woman, under a mountain of police paraphernalia, mumbles to herself, then notices you and you reaches for the megaphone.
Show me your hands. This is the pigs. Show me your hands. Right now! Show me your hands right now!
Scavenged battery-powered police lights protrude from her back. The flickering light show reveals a gun in her shaking hand.
Madame, please drop the firearm immediately.
Easy, ma'am. Take it easy.
Failure to comply. Suspect is displaying aggression. Officer under duress! Officer under duress! I am the police! Don't move! Don't move! Hands on your head! Suspect is armed and dangerous!
Ma'am, I need you to calm down. We just want to talk.
Lateral vascular neck restraint. Carotid sleeper. Carotid sleeper. Critically reducing blood from passing through the neck of the suspect.
Be careful, detective. Don't do anything that might set her off.
You'll have to go for the gun sooner or later. Perhaps you can learn crucial facts before we do. Okay. Please identify yourself, ma'am. The goddamn police, shitbag! She yells into the megaphone. Hug the pavement! You're under arrest! She thinks she's a police officer. Try treating her like a police officer. A lower-ranking police officer. Officer Pigs, W. Freighter Harrier Dubois, requesting your sidearm for inspection. What? She lowers the megaphone and stares at the gun in her hand. Patrol officer, you're in gross violation of the RCM Code of Conduct. Sir, she hesitates, looking around in confusion. Three-barreled pepper box wavers in her hand. Patrol officer, I have to sign you up for a disciplinary hearing. Easy, Lieutenant whispers. Press her too hard and she'll... With a swift, poorly coordinated move, the woman slams the megaphone against her lips and teeth. A trickle of blood runs down her chin. She doesn't notice it. Officer compromised. Unlawful impersonation. Pigs en route. Engage at will. Okay, she's actually more agitated now. My bad. We can solve this peacefully. Please lower the weapon. Officer in need of assistance. Her eyes dart between you and Kim. Suspect at large. Get on the ground. Ma'am, please. Lieutenant is trying to maintain eye contact. We want to help you, but you need to lower that weapon. Blow her away. Let's just talk, alright? Disturbance reported. Authorized deadly force. Sector, take the shot. Her head snaps at you. Big red key, big red key. Big red key. That's code for the battering ram. Cop talk. You know this. You're not the police. We are the police. Back up. She lowers the megaphone halfway, but immediately raises it again. Screams, back up, status unconfirmed. Lieutenant W. Freighter Harry Dubois, 41st Precinct. This is my partner, Lieutenant Kitsuragi from the 57th. No, crazed woman mumbles, shaking her head. No, I thought Mr. Morant, Gareth. Suddenly he raises the... He? Holy shit, this is a guy? Fuck. No, it's not a guy. We've been calling him ma'am, I thought. Yeah, it's another typo, I think. Aggravated assault. Man down. Officer in pursuit. There's a scenario unfolding in her head right now. It has nothing to do with what's happening here. What's the situation? Lieutenant hesitates, addressing the woman. Officer? Law enforcement compromise, she screams in her megaphone. Red and blue lights illuminate the spit flying everywhere. Impersonating a police officer. Does she not believe you two are actually police officers? We really are cops. Look, my badge. License and registration. She repeatedly bashes the megaphone against her head, then screams in the bloody mouthpiece. License and registration. Come in, dispatch. Sector, azimuth. It's not a code, just disjointed words. Alright, let's do it. Do or die. Nice. Here's the plan. You jerk left, dash right, close the distance, and cut her hand off. Ready? No, that won't be necessary. Look closer. The gun. All three barrels. Red and blue light shining through. It's not loaded. Kim, I'm almost certain there are no bullets in that gun. Huh? Lieutenant studies the swaying firearm. My God, I think you're right. Ma'am, the weapon you're holding is mine, and I know it has no bullets. What? The The woman looks at the weapon in disbelief, her eyes suddenly reddish with tears. She looks straight down the barrel and squeezes the trigger. Wait. A click. Nothing happens. She looks at the useless weapon. This isn't police issue. Police weapons have bullets. This isn't real. What is this? The gun lands. Jesus. The gun lands on the wooden planks and tears run down her scratched cheeks. Police guns always have bullets. What is this? Why did you sell me this? Grab the gun right now. This might be your only choice. Pick up the gun. Nice. No one ever cares anymore. Her voice is growing fainter as she rocks back and forth slowly. Why would they cheat me like this? Great gears are grinding to a halt. The machine is powering down. She's all out of jolt. Poor woman. Lieutenant holsters his pistol. We need to figure out what to do with her now. Nobody's ever around. The old woman mumbles, staring blank at the boardwalk. Nobody ever comes to visit me. I'm very sorry this is how life turned out for you. Her scratched skin is warm to the touch, but the person inside doesn't even know you're there. What do you think is happening to her? She's in a stupor, Lieutenant replies, inspecting the catatonic woman standing in the dark. I've seen this before. God knows for how long. Could be days when they get like this. But why was she like this in the first place? Honestly, I don't know. Dementia, probably. He lowers his voice. Dementia and Channel 8. And loneliness. You're probably right. Loneliness. Looks like a bad case. He gives the woman a compassionate look. The question is what to do with her right now. Should we just arrest her? I don't think there's any need for that. In her current state, and without the gun, she isn't really a threat to anyone. We could let Titus know. This is a perfect problem for the local peacekeepers to handle. They might even know her family. You know, in America, she would have been dead like 10 minutes ago. But, oh well. Yeah, Titus sounds like the man for the job. Then we can ask him once we get back to the whirling, but we have to hurry, because it's late and they might have already gone home. I think we're done here for now. Let's head out. This is done. As you turn to leave, the faintest of voices comes from the woman. Please leave the radio on, she mutters. It seems like a reflex, a half-remembered sentence. Reflex to what? Being left alone? She stands motionless, just a heap of clothes and flashers now. Maybe if you search her once more. Search her? Pick up the RCM cap. She doesn't even flinch as you reach out and disentangle the familiar-looking lieutenant's cap from her mountain of RCM paraphernalia. Oh, is that yours? It's hard to say. It's been so long since you wore yours. Mine? No, it's ours. The RCM's. It's your hat. Shake her shoulder. Alright. Alright, we got a sweet hat. Oh, that did not look as cool once I went on my fucking mullet head. I guess. Well, that was interesting. And we have a gun! Villiers' 9mm pepper box pistol. 3-shot revolving barrel Villiers LaSalle pepper box, typically assigned to officers of the RCM upon reaching the rank of sergeant. The butt of the gun is worn, and the engraving on the side reads, Sunrise, Parabellum. This is your gun. No doubt about it. Alright. We don't need to have it equipped, but we have it. Got our gun, got our badge. Everything's coming together. You see a one-spray mural towering above you. The signage is peeled off over the years, but you can still make out Feld Electrical R&D. Step closer. Above the mural, a collapsed roof, broken windows set in walls that are cracking and will soon also fall, and the coastal breeze rustling and sighing in the remains of the edifice. Feld Electrical. How ironic, all these dark rooms. There's something in the wind. Sometimes the only way to go forward is to fail first. Why do I feel like I know this place? Indeed. Somehow you knew it was here. An urban ruin gutted by looters that once used to consume money and dispense warmth and light. You felt it before when it rained in Martinez, and you felt the cold of the rain. The feeling persists. It has been in you ever since. What is this building? Some sort of industrial ruin? I don't recognize the name of the company. R&D used to mean research and development. It looks long abandoned. Could Ruby be in there? In there? She could. Or, he points behind you. She could be in the identical ruin over there, or in the boat shack, in that church tower, maybe. Why single out this one building? Oh, man. Listen to the wind. Look at this. Found the empty trap, heard Lena's true story, went on a date, reconstructed execution, made that awful call, confronted all these things I've been doing. What if I fail this? Okay. Even though you're sure you succeeded, all is quiet. There's no cold hand brushing against your forehead, no rustle in the reeds. The wind has died down. The ruin in front of you is silent as a tomb. What was I even attempting to do here? Trying to talk to the wind? The city? Whatever you thought would happen did not. And now you're just standing there in the dusk hour, with your hands fallen to your side. Is trying to talk to the city something you've done before? Is it in your secret repertoire, a trick for when you're out of ideas? She could be anywhere. How do we find her? How do we? I was really hoping she'd be in the village. The lieutenant sighs and gets a hold of himself. Okay. She's probably north of the village, and this place is a peninsula. He looks north. We already scanned most of the outdoor areas on our wild cryptid hunt, so we have an understanding of the geography at least. And then there's the church. He looks at the bell tower. We've already searched that and can rule it out. I know it doesn't feel like progress, but exclusion is a step too. Anyway, we do it the old-fashioned way, sector by sector. Go over the whole peninsula, ask the locals, enter the places where we can enter first, like we did in the village. And if that fails, if we don't find her, then, if we're desperate, we can look where we can't enter. Bunkers, storm drainage, this place. I'm sure it won't come to that. He looks behind him at the dark red box crumbling across the chasm. Walk the coast, the old boardwalk, the reeds. You can always come back here and talk to the wind again. Look where it already got you. Suddenly there's a sigh, carried on the molecules around you, moving, flowing from high pressure to low pressure, like that of a woman emptying her lungs. She wraps the collapsing stone box in front of you, and her breath flowing through it. Where does it go? In through the collapsed roof, flowing down a concrete staircase, to the basement, sweeping away footprints in the dust on the stairs, and then the beach below the boardwalk, its winding tunnels. A whisper away. What is happening? She's down there. I think she's down there, below this building. Okay, why? Ever since I woke up, maybe even before, I've been getting these strange cold spells. Good, yes, cold spells. He seems incredulous. So basically your hangover is telling you she's down there. Call it a gut feeling. He shrugs. So how do we get in there? The doors were on the collapsed side of this building. They're gone, basically. There's a ladder next to the sign. Perhaps we can climb them, enter through the roof. Perhaps you can climb them. We're not climbing anything. I'm 43 years old, and I plan to live to see 70. You know I'm gonna climb this fucking ladder. A rusty ladder leads to the rooftop. Some of the rungs are missing. Yeah, that doesn't look good at all. Assess the situation. Distances between the remaining rungs are rather wide. You'd have to use the mounting brackets. However, they seem corroded, and the peeling rust is razor sharp. In addition, the first rung is going to be tough to reach. It's what, 3 meters above ground, and you're 180? 180 seems about right. Not to mention that the roof is collapsing and the wind gets pretty brutal up there. Dismounting from the ladder is going to be hard. Perhaps if you were to not climb the ladder, instead, what if you were to reconceptualize climbing the ladder? Astral projection. Be open-minded about this. What if I don't climb? What if I just teleport? Lieutenant stares at you, stone-faced. Teleportation is not a thing. Even if it isn't, no one told you. It's a thing for me. I can't remember. It's not a thing. That's not how physics work, detective. And even if it were, wouldn't you need some kind of apparatus? A teleportation field, or... It won't hurt to try. Oh yes, it could hurt. A lot. He is restraining himself from using a parental tone with you right now. Teleport to the roof. No. On second thought, maybe teleportation isn't a thing. Why? Because you're just standing there squeezing your buttocks and nothing is happening. Don't say the stupid thing. The lieutenant looks at you with that. I know you're thinking the stupid thing look, as you grow tired of clenching your buttocks and give up. You're not ready to do this yet. Damn. So we need savoir-faire? I should have equipped shit. I'm almost certain I have plenty for... Yeah, I have plenty for that. But now we have to level up. Which is tricky. Level ups don't come too freely at this point. Let's go talk to those musicians. Might be able to squeeze some more XP out of that.
Come on, get in. The warm stuff's getting out. Sorry, we barely have room for one.
You go ahead. I'm too old for this. I'm sure you will feel right at home. I'll keep watch.
So you had a talk with Andre, and now you want to discuss things with Noid? Good.
Skin shows through the holes in the Speed Freak's too large sweater. In front of him, an open toolbox full of carpentry tools and parts.
It's good you talked to Andre first. Gave me time to get a reading on your sign. Can't really talk to people before you get a reading.
Okay, I don't need to talk to you.
Hi again. So, how are things going?
He looks excited. The tips of his hairs are sharp and white. The bleach has consumed almost all the toothbrush on the mirror in front of him. About the church, I checked it out. And? He tenses up. What happened? I talked to the crab man. Oh man, who is he? What did he think? Seemed okay, to be honest. Very spiritual. Really? Huh, interesting. What's he doing in the church? Just preaching and praying from the looks of it. No matter, the paranoid young man mumbles gruffly. Is he gonna be a problem? Yeah, Noid is right. Let's get back to the point. What are we gonna do about him? He keeps himself physically active, thinks spiritual thoughts, and doesn't drink. Who am I to evict such a person? But he's likely up to no good. Andre shakes his head. He's a crab man, a menace to society. I doubt that. Besides, I'm pretty sure it's impossible to catch him climbing up there. I don't know, man. Doesn't it feel like a major hindrance to you? He rubs his jaw. A spooky guy climbing around when all the guests are trying to have nice, friendly hyper time? You're just gonna have to live with the crab man. Guess it's not a massive problem now that I think of it. Everyone is welcome to dance till the morning light. Yeah! Maybe, I guess we'll figure something out. Okay, well, what about the other spooker? The one in Grandma's clothes. Did you see her? I was using the mainframe when Suna, the former lead programmer of Fortress Accident, appeared. Programmer? That's odd. What was she like? Did you ask her about the nightclub? She said you guys haven't been completely honest with me about your plans. Come on, man. Who do you trust? A spooky programmer or us? We just want to make the world a better place. Feel the love. Get down and feel it. Stuffy tent muffles the last two words. The command fails to impress. A half-hearted self, something which does not seem worth buying. The love? No, I'm really not feeling it at all. We'll get there, believe me. When we've got our gear set up, things will be flowing and pumping. Anyway, now that it's settled, how did she seem? I mean, disposition-wise, about the dance club idea. Yeah or a 9? Rocking it or dropping it? She did not like the Anodic dance club idea. What a pity, that's my favorite thing in the world. He drops the hammer back into a toolbox, and she doesn't like it at all. A shame, he sighs. What can we do now? You see way out of this jam and into a laser-lit future of dance and unity? Unity! Dance! She made it very clear she won't leave until her own project is finished. And you can't just evict her. No, I won't evict her. We have to come up with a different solution. Look at you, Honor Man. No, Noid, he's right. Maybe we've approached it the wrong way after all. I'm sure there's a workaround. We can make a deal not to bother her. That's okay with her. We only want to get in the church and spread the joy and ecstasy of music. Lines in the dark exist. Coexist. At least Crabman seems like an advanced being. He's hard. He'll understand. Yeah, he can do his climbing thing in the tower. And the programmer, does she like Anodic dance music? She absolutely does not. Really, truly despises it. Egghead cannot believe what you just said. It makes him pump the jam a little slower for a moment, but then he returns to the full swing of it. No worries, we'll figure it out. The man nods enthusiastically, then leans in and whispers, if coexisting fails, you can always muscle her out, alright? If it's all okay with you. What do you think? I refuse to throw her out, but I can try convincing her. He smiles wide, like a replica of his friend with the large head. Excellent. Good luck, my friend. Well, we didn't get any XP out of them yet. And really, that's what we're in it for. That sweet, sweet XP. I mean, hey, we could just put a gun to her head. We got a gun. We got a gun!
Yes, what is it?
What if you didn't have to leave? I talked to Andre. He wants to make it work. I don't want to make anything work, she replies, her expression unchanged. Hold on, you don't want to make anything work? Yes, anything. I don't want to make anything work. It's not the anotic dance music that's made her bitter. It's the failure of Fortress Accident. Are you bitter because your radio game project failed? That's right. Something strange shines in her eyes. If we couldn't get our Welkins to happen, I don't want anything to happen, ever again. There's not a trace of irony in her voice. She means it. Convince her to cooperate. Easy. When her research is done, she can move out. Listen, about your research, you mentioned earlier that it's not going very well. Maybe I can help with something. What? She looks up from her work, disoriented. No, I don't really need any help with the project. But if I could help you finish the project, then you wouldn't have to live in a church next to the Boom Boom anymore. Just think about it. She thinks about it, a glassy look in her eyes. A gust of wind brings more snow in from the broken gallery. It touches her hair. Alright, she finally says, blinking twice. Bring me the game's off-site copy from my old workspace, if you really want to help. It's stored on a filament memory, and I'm unable to go and fetch it myself. By your old workspace, do you mean the Studio Fortress Accident in the Doom commercial area? Yeah, that's the one. You can get in through the bookshop. You just have to do some explaining to the bookstore lady. Actually, I've already been inside the Doom commercial area. Good, then you might know the giant ice bear fridge in the building cellar. The filament is inside the fridge. Just go and get it. And where exactly is the off-site copy? In the giant ice bear fridge. I just told you, it has red glowing eyes. It's impossible to miss. You just need to get the off-site copy from the ice bear. I found a note from the ice bear fridge. It said the off-site copy had been moved to a safer place. She freezes. Wait, a note from whom? Did it specify where they took the filament memory? It said the off-site copy had been taken to a nearby ice cream maker. The note was signed by someone named Sulislaw. Zawiza, of course. She relaxes. Our project lead, Sulislaw Zawiza. God, he was always so hell-bent on keeping the copy somewhere safe. And feature creep, she mutters, in the Valley of the Heads. Like it would have made a difference. The off-site copy was perfectly safe when the data loss happened. That data loss was anomalous. She crosses her arms defiantly. And the heads. I won't even get into the heads. Millions of them. She stops. Go find that copy from that ice cream maker, will you? Thanks. Valley of the Thousand Heads. You like the sound of that. I found the ice cream maker, but couldn't get it open. It's completely frozen. This is getting ridiculous. Can't you just defrost it? Or, I don't know. I don't know about the ice cream maker. Just figure something out. There's a solution, but she doesn't want to hand it over to you yet. It's a thing. Something she holds dear. By the way, we put a dead body in that fridge. Wait, what? She looks up, alarmed. Whose dead body? You know, we don't actually have to tell the entire world about the fridge, the lieutenant says, looking at you. Whose body is it? She demands again, staring first at you, then back to the lieutenant. It's the body of the hanged man. And what is it doing in the fridge? It's almost as if she feels some sort of ownership of the fridge. Don't worry, I put it there, temporarily. It's all part of an official police investigation. You put it there. She leans back, massaging her eyelids. You put a dead body inside the ice bear fridge. The investigation warranted it. Okay, she says, pressing fingers into her eyebrow ridge. Very cool. Thanks for keeping me in the loop. We would appreciate it if you kept this knowledge to yourself, miss. Who would I tell? My mother? She shakes her frizzy head. I don't have anyone to tell, and if I did, I wouldn't. I don't care. Alright, I'll go look for the off-site cop. Thanks. Oh, she hands you an oversized pry bar. Here's my Kvalson multi-tool. You might need it to hack loose some ice. It opens everything. If you get me the off-site copy, you can keep the Kvalson. It hurts a bit for her to say this. She's not too happy to be parting with the Kvalson. Alright, cool. But we leveled up. We put a point into savoir-faire. Good, good. Now we can equip all our savoir-faire items. Track pants. Our glasses. That might be it. Yeah. And there's no guarantee I'll be able to do it, but there's a chance. I mean, I can't imagine we'll actually teleport up to the top of the building, so I don't know what this is going to accomplish, but damn it, it's a skill check, and I'm going to pass it. The remaining windows rattle from a strong gust of wind. They're covered in a thick layer of grime. They must have been like this for 40 years. Try to see inside. Dripping water falls from a high place. All you can see is the shadow of a collapsing staircase. There's rust and corrosion on the bars. They're foaming with it, and a small layer of white salt from the sea. Lieutenant, can you make out what's inside? No, he shakes his head. The windows rattle in their frames. I won't even try. You know, he takes his glasses off. I had a partner once. They called him Eyes because he had to show me things. It's that bad. Can you still shoot, though? Well enough, actually. It's odd how that works. I'm no sharpshooter, but I passed my shooting courses 7 out of 10. Yeah, I saw you shoot that fucking rope. Here we go. 72% chance. Nice. All you need to do is close your eyes and concentrate. Darkness enfolds you. You can feel the distance between the bench and the first rung of the ladder. All you need to is do it. Zoom, zap, pow, crinkle. It's like magic. You feel yourself disappear, your atoms fading out of existence. Okay, well, that's impressive, but... Bam! You find yourself on the roof, having mastered the art of physical displacement. I did it, Kim. I teleported. I just saw you climb the ladder. Lieutenant shouts from below. You just climbed it like a regular person. The wind at the top of the building starts howling loudly, blowing away the lieutenant's voice. Faintly, you hear, "Never mind. Find a way to let me in when you get inside. Don't go adventuring without backup, especially if we think the suspect may be hiding here." Alright, so I didn't actually teleport. I just entered a stupor and climbed the fucking ladder. But still, we're up here, baby. Amazing. Alright, we'll leave it off here. Exciting stuff. We might be close to getting this Ruby person. Getting to talk to her for the first time. My name is Mangg. Game watching has been Disco Elysium. I'll see you fine folks in the next part.